आपका मैडम आने वाले है क्या? पता नहीं लगता है, फोन करना पड़ेगा। गुड मॉर्निंग, वेलकम। हेलो सर, सुखबाई करम छ। हेलो सर, અભિભાઈ વેરી હેપી ટુ હેલો ઘણા વખત પછી એ બસ તમને લાવ્યા નહીં તો નોર્મલી બાકી તો માનો થાય લઈ આવજો હા હા હવે છે હા ઓ આખ્યા સાહેબ સાહેબજી છે હેલો छतरी बंद कीजिए सलामत फूल करना सच से सुखबार कम छो વચ્ચે મજામાં
અમને અમે આવ્યા તો વરસાદ
ગાડીમાંથી ચાલો 9 વાગ્યા
Almighty, વરસાદ આવી ગયો. ટોપે પાછી
আস্তে আস্তে Thank you. જલ્દી કરવાનું ફટાફટ ये बोले से कहाँ है Ini jaga bola.
कावल की रिक्शा एजेंट वाला कावल की रिक्शा एजेंट वाला हमसे रॉनी पकवाड़िया
Very good. Thank you. Lihat bro. Aku tahu bro. Ini cuma itu hari-hari. Tapi kalau ini mau jadi semua. Kan kalau kau je. Ini je. Thank you. Ini soal kali ni kau.
No, sir, on behalf of
Vapi.
On behalf of
Wapis.
Hello. Ini nak apa itu kau? Very good.
On behalf of Bombay Punjab Port.
Bombay Punjab. Bombay Punjab.
34.
Adi Australia.
Punjab masih ada. Aja pagkaro. Punjab masih. Dia pun Punjab masih apa? Ini jauh. Ojo, kopi karo.
Bombay Municipal Corporation.
Municipal Corporation.
The Bombay Municipal Corporation is the Bombay.
Oh, mustafa. इधर देखो हमको देखो खलास
चल
हम नहीं होते
જે લોકો ઉપર લઈ ગયા હોય હાર પહેરાવવા તે લોકો આવો અહીંયા ફૂલ લઈને જા નીચે મૂકો ને લિટલ અ ફ્યુ ઓફ ધ ફ્લાવર
आज जारी कर एक मिनट जा नाको ना बोल Tenia berapa baju? Abang, ini mana lagi? પ્રિન્સિપલ અહીંયાથી નાખે છે અંતિમ બાજુ અંતિમ પ્લીઝ ચાલો પની છત્રી ભરીએ પાડુરંગા ચાલો નાખો વચ્ચેથી વાજે નીકળ ચલા બાજુ પછી આરામથી લોકમાં મહેનત નહીં પડતો हमारा है
all of you. આવો ને આ બાજુ આવી જાઓ બધા Anybody over here flowers મૂકવાના રજા છે તો આપણે શરૂ કરીએ.
Excuse me.
This way while the rain is holding, let's start off.
Chalo. Friends, will you just come nearer? આટલા લોકો આવવાના છે હા આ બાજુ આવી જાઓ.
અંતિમ જરા બાજુ સો પ્લીઝ
Friends, I hope you all can hear me. As per our usual practice, we meet here on September 4. His Dadabhai Navrojis' birthday as per English
Madam,
calendar.
can you stand a little back so that the
And
photographer
for last-
can take the picture?
Around 70-80 years, our organization has been doing with the Bombay Parsi Association. And in later years, we had the support of number of institutions, including Navsari Parsi Association, from the days of Shera Wajib Shah. દાદાભાઈ નવરોજીને માટે શું બોલીએ અને શું નહીં બોલીએ કેમ કે નહીં તો અમારા લેડી કહેશે કે તમે ગુજરાતીમાં કંઈ બોલ્યા જ નહીં કરીને એટલે most important in my opinion is that he was the first Indian to be a professor in India. And another unique thing was that he was the first Indian to be a professor in England. He taught mathematics over here and Gujarati in London. And that is, he himself said that to me, I had many achievements, but this was my major achievement when I first became a professor. Then secondly, immediately everybody will say, first black man, as he was called by the Prime Minister of those days, before the election, to be selected by a white party, the Liberal Party, to stand from a white constituency, Central Finsbury, London, and elected by a white voter constituency to the white Parliament, the British House of Commons. First time ever. He took the oath also not on the Bible but on the Khorde Avasta. And for the first time the British Parliament allowed somebody to take the oath on a Khorde Avasta, the religious book of the Zoroastrians, the Parsis. Then another thing, that so many things are there about his life, and I'm sure we have got a number of speakers who will be able to say something. I'll request the speakers to restrict themselves to 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm also not going to say more, but I will say okay, he was the mentor. Some people may agree or some people may disagree, or they may not like what I'm going to say. He was the mentor of 2 fathers of 2 nations. Our Gandhiji from India and Georgina from Pakistan. Both were with him in London, and he helped out not only them but many Indian students who had gone to London in England. So friends, thank you very much for coming. I'm not going to say more because so many speakers are there. I will now request my friend over here, Mr. Godrej Dotiwala, ex-PRO of Panchayat. He's just retired.
Please.
Well, I would like to, at the outset, thank Wispy. Year after year, he has been doing a splendid job of garlanding so many statues, including Dadabhai Navrojis and Dinsa Aidenwala, and also at the this thing, Karighat Colony, the War Memorial. He comes and helps us out with the wreaths and all that. And he has always been a great help, great sponsor, and in many other ways for our community. So we must thank him for what he has been doing.
My institution, organization, my committee members, all are responsible.
Okay. And that is at the outset. But there's just one more thing I wanted to add to the speech he has made. I don't want to repeat things. And that is that Madam Bhikaji Kama, the great revolutionary, was Dadabhai Navrojis' secretary at one time in London, which was a great achievement because she was a revolutionary, he was the most non-violent person, and yet they got along great with each other. And she was the one who raised the Indian flag first at Stuttgart, as you all know. Okay, now there's one more thing I wanted to say, that the 2nd of October 2003 was a very auspicious day for the Parsi community. It is, of course, Mahatma Gandhi's Jayanti, but it was a very auspicious day in 2003 because on that day a coin was released for Dadabhai Navrojis, and that is this coin, Dadabhai Navrojis 5 rupee coin, which was the first time that the government of India had released the coin for a Parsi. And that is also up till now the only time that a Parsi has appeared on India's coin. Though on stamps, many Indians have appeared, many Parsis have appeared. Dadabhai has appeared twice on stamp. But on the coin, he is the one. And at that, there was a grand function at the Tata Theatre at the NCPA on that day when the Finance Minister, Jaswant Singh, came and released this coin in the presence of many eminent personages, including the governor of Maharashtra at that time, Mr. Faisal, Mohammad Faisal. So that is a very unique occasion, and I only wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Parliamentary Centenary of Dadabhai. First it was formed in England. John Major, the Prime Minister, took active interest, and then we formed a committee in India. And our Mr. Dalia Khan was there also, and so many others were involved. Freedom fighters were there. I was also a member of that committee. And we ultimately brought out a second stamp on Dadabhai, which was rejected first when they approached. But I said we are commemorating the event. Not it's a stamp not on Dadabhai, but it's on the event. And that is how we got a second stamp. Okay, now I'll request Mr. Khojeste Mistry, our scholar, to say a few words.
My job really is not to say too much. Vispi's requested me to say a few words. I'd like to talk about Dadabhai's religious connection. All of you will be told about his great political achievements, his great achievements in education, but it might interest you to know that Dadabhai himself was ordained as a priest, underwent the Nava ceremony at the Vadiji Atishwaram in Mumbai, according to Dinyar, who just told me this. But much more important, and perhaps very few people know about this, that he was asked to adjudicate on the Khergam Dakhma. Now what happened there? The Khergam Dakhma was built in Khergam, which is in present-day Gujarat, and there was a fight between the Bhagaria and the Sanjana priests on this issue, where the Sanjana priest said Khergam comes in our jurisdiction, and the Bhagaria priest said it comes in their jurisdiction. None other than Sir Pirosha Mehta spoke on behalf as the counsel for the Bhagaria Anjuman, and the decision given by the court of Gaikwad was that the Khergam Anjuman should be allowed to build the Dakhma because the rituals had already begun, and therefore the Bhagaria priest would look after the Dakhma itself. However, there was a dispute between the two groups of priests, and so that's when Dadabhai Navrojis was asked to be the arbitrator between the Sanjana priests and the Bhagaria priests, and obviously he was able to resolve this issue. I don't think you'll find this written in any of the books on Dadabhai Navrojis. The other personal anecdote that I have, I didn't realize this when I was a schoolboy. I didn't grow up in Bombay, I grew up in Pune, but when I used to come to Mumbai, I used to be taken to the Captain House. And I then realized many years later that three of Dadabhai Navrojis' granddaughters, Gosi, Nargish and Perin, married three captain brothers. I used to go for high tea. I remember eating cheese and chicken sandwiches at Gosi Captain's husband's estate in Andheri, which is where they lived. Her husband was Manik. He was a prominent solicitor of Captain and Vaidya, a firm of solicitors in Mumbai. So that's the connection I have with Gosi. I didn't realize her greatness, but they were all committed to the Gandhi movement. They always wore cotton saris. Nargish married Dorab Captain. She lived at the house of Sir Vedimani outside Pune at Kirki, and I also met her. And Perin, the third granddaughter, lived at the Oriental Club on Marine Drive. She married Danji, and they had three very, very beautiful parrots. So these are my childhood memories of actually meeting the three Dadabhai Navrojis granddaughters, but of course I hadn't a clue as to what their greatness was. But all the sisters were involved with the freedom struggle, the freedom movement, etc. And of course Dadabhai, because he traveled to England, started the Zoroastrian Trust Funds of Europe in 1861. So he was clearly a very dedicated, committed Parsi. And I'd like to just read what a very important civil servant then said at Dadabhai's obituary in Bombay. Dadabhai died in Bombay. He was consigned to the Tower of Silence in Mumbai, a point that I think we need to remember. And this was basically said by Sir Narayan Chandravarka, quote, "If we take stock of his life and his example, may I not say with perfect justice and truth that in his career, in all he did, and all he suffered, and all he taught, he was the prophet Zarathustra's religion personified, because he, the man, more than anybody else, exemplified the Zoroastrian creed of pure thought, of pure speech, and of pure deeds. The sun that rose just 92 years ago over India is set, but I say it and set it to rise again in the form of a regenerated India. For Dadabhai lived and worked for us with a devotion which must remain for all of us an inspiring example." So I think on his death anniversary today, we need to really remember not just what the Parsis have to say about him, but what non-Zoroastrians have said about him, and may his soul rest in peace. Ravan Garot Mani Bad, Ravan Garot Mani Bad, Ravan Garot Mani Bad.
I'll now request our Mr. Thank you very much. I'll now request Mr. Barjur Atia, feminine solicitor and past pastor in the Panchayat, to say a few words.
My dear fellow Zoroastrians, Parsis are not only, our forefathers were not only pioneers, but also the nation builders. Jamshedji Tata started all the industries and he was called one-member planning commission. Similarly, Dadabhai Navrojis fought for us, fought for our freedom, not only here but even in England, and ultimately he was the 3 times president of Indian Congress, and 1906 he declared in that Calcutta Congress that Swaraj e maro janmasiddh hak che, freedom is my fundamental right, independence is our fundamental right. He gave that clarion call, and thereafter our freedom movement took up and we became ultimately independent. So he is one of the stalwarts of our freedom, and Gandhiji used to respect him, used to call him Dada, grandfather, and he was considered grandfather of the nation, Deshna Dada. So what we have to learn from such person, he was a simple man. He was born in a very poor priestly family. His original surname is Dodi, his perseverance, and he fought everywhere in life. He had achieved #1 position as a professor or even in politics, and today we remember his name, and I can only say that his pravasi guide us. Another important thing in his personal life, at that time there was child marriage, so he was married at a small age, then he became so big, he became member of parliament, British parliament, then his mother was told that he has married some British lady, so he came back running to India to assure mother, no, I have not married any lady, I am faithful to my Indian wife. What we have to learn from him, that nowadays some people rise in life, forget their uneducated wife, but he stick to his dad, and that was his nobility. I dealt with his grandson Kish Navrojis when I joined Mullahs in '62. He was the director in Bombay House, and I interacted with him. And his granddaughter also, the house at Andheri, I have dealt with and sold them. They were very nice lady, righteous, and also social worker, and dedicated to the nation. So we have to take what is called inspiration from his life. Parsis are today not so powerful, not so active, so such a person, life should inspire us. And J.R.D. Tata in his lecture has said, I advise, he was very favorite, his favorite person was Dadabhai Navrojis, and one of his lectures he said, I want all the Zoroastrians and more particularly youths to read the life of Dadabhai Navrojis, because it is inspiring. One can come in life and come up like that. What Chandravarkar said, what was also I going to say, that his life is an example for us to do good deeds. જીવનમાં સરવાલો એવી રીતે ગણો કે તમારો મરણનો જવાબ સાચો આવે. એ પ્રમાણે દાદાભાઈ નવરોજીએ એવું જીવન ગુજાર્યું કે પોતાના દેશનું, પોતાનું કોમનું, બધાનું ભલું કરીને ગયા. એવા સૌ આત્માને આપણે આજે યાદ કરીએ છીએ, ને એમની પ્રવૃત્તિ આપણને હંમેશા ચાલુ રાખે, ગાઈડ કરે, ને આપણી કોમ હંમેશા આબાદ ને ટકી રહે, એવી દુઆ સાથે.
Thank you very much.
We have all heard about Dadabhai Navrojis, read about it, and we know a lot about it. The point that I would like to make is something similar to what Mr. Barjur said himself just now, that we have to emulate the example of such people, and if you want to connect the past to the present, please observe that we have a lot of organizations, a lot of committees, a lot of things that has been done similar way that of our elders have done in the past. But today, the need of the hour is that we, on an individual basis, also should emulate this example. Because 1 + 1 + 1, we are many. every drop makes an ocean. So if we emulate his example on an individual basis today, which is more important, then I think we have done a lot of service to the grand old man of India that he is. And today we pray.
Thank you very much, Dadabhai. We have with us a brilliant research worker.
સ્પંદિયારી આવશે એના પછી
એડવર્ડ સાહેબ અસ્પંદિયા દાદાચાંદજી પંથકી છે અને અમારા અઠોરનાન મંડળના જ્યાં હું ટ્રેઝર અને ટ્રસ્ટી છું ત્યાં એવન વાઇસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ છે તો એવન એક બે બોલ બોલશે
જરા પાછળ પ્લીઝ
Snautrau, Remazau, Hashem, Boho, Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yadasai, Vaistai, Hashem, Nam Chesti, Anosveravan, Ravani, Edward Dada, Edward Navrojis, Zaidari Adbad, Edward Navrojis ના બેટા એડવર્ડ દાદાભાઈને આજે આપણે યાદ કરીએ છીએ. બધા આપણે એવનને યાદમાં બધું બોલી ગયા પણ એવન નાવર મર્તબ થયેલા એટલે બનવામાં એડવર્ડ દાદા એડવર્ડ નવરોઝ એવી રીતે નામ લેવાય. જેમ જમશેદ તાતાનું નામ લેવાય એડવર્ડ જમશેદ એડવર્ડ નોશેરવાન એટલે અઠોરનાન ટોળાના એવાન હતા પણ કમનસીબે પાઘરીમાં કંઈ એ લોકોના ફોટા એવું નથી પણ એવન નાવર મર્તબ થયેલા તેથી આપણને મગરોરી રાખે. 1900 સાલમાં 3 જવાહીરો પેદા થઈ ગયા. મહાત્મા ગાંધીજીએ કહેલું છે કે જરદોસ્તી ટોળાના 3 જવાહીરો તેમાં પહેલાં તે વેપારી વીર દાનવીર સર જમશેદજી જીજીભાઈ પહેલાં બોર્ડરનાઇટ, બીજા હતા સાહસવીર ઉદ્યોગપતિ શેઠ જમશેદજી નસરવનજી દાતા અને ત્રીજા હતા તે આપણા મહાન દેશભક્ત માનવંતા પૂજારી હિંદના સ્વરાજના મંત્રદાતા શ્રી નૂતન ભારતના ભવ્ય પિતામાં દાદાભાઈ નવરોજી દોડદી એવનની સરનેમ દોડદી હતી. તો પહેલાં હતા જીજીભાઈ તે લક્ષ્મીપતિ કહેવાતા હતા, બીજા હતા તે ઉદ્યોગપતિ કહેવાતા હતા જમશેદજી અને ત્રીજા હતા તે રાજ્યપતિ કહેવાતા હતા. આ ત્રણેય જાણીતા પુરુષોના પરાક્રમ પરોપકારી પ્રસન્ન થઈ મહાત્મા ગાંધીજીએ ત્રણેયને જઠ્ઠોસ્તી જવાહીરો તરીકે નામ આપ્યું હતું. દાદાભાઈએ સર્વથી પહેલાં ગર્લ્સ સ્કૂલ કન્યાશાળા ખોલી હતી અને સ્ત્રી શિક્ષણના તેવાન પિતા સમાન હતા. દાદાભાઈનું ઘર લંડનમાં હતું તેમાં એમને પારસી લોજ કરીને નામ આપેલું પણ હિન્દુસ્તાનથી કોઈ બી કોમના કોઈ બી આવે તો એવનના લોજમાં મફત ખાઈ પીને રહી શકતા હતા એવી આપણને નોટ મળે છે. વડોદરાના મહારાજાએ એમને દિવાન બનાવેલા વડોદરાના ત્યારે એવાને કહેલું કે કંઈ બી ખોટું કામ કરશો તો હું દિવાનગીરી છોડીને મુંબઈ જતો રહીશ. પણ એક વખતે બહુ મોટો કેસ બ્રિટિશ ગવર્મેન્ટે મહારાજાની ઉપર માંડ્યો પણ દાદાભાઈએ આગળ રહી અને ઘણી કુશળતાપૂર્વક એવનની તરફેણમાં કેસ જીતાડી આપેલો. ત્યારે મહારાજાએ એવનને 50,000નું ઇનામ આપેલું પણ એવનને કહેવામાં આવે છે કે એવન બહુ ઉદાર હતા, ગરીબ દિલના પણ ઉદાર અને દયાળુ સ્વભાવ હતો તો બધાને આપી લઈને ગરીબીમાં રહેતા હતા. ત્યારે એવનના 2 ફ્રેન્ડો હતા સોરાબજી બંગાલી અને નવરોજી ફરડુનજી. એ લોકોએ 50,000 લઈ લીધા અને એમાં મૂક્યા અને એવનનો વ્યાજમાંથી એવનને ભરણ પોષણ મળે એવી રીતનું રાખ્યું અને પછી જ્યારે એવન ગુજરવા માંડે ત્યારે એનો ટ્રસ્ટમાંથી એવનના સગાવાલાઓને એ મળે એવી ગોઠવણ કરેલી હતી. તો આજે બધાએ એવનને યાદ કીધા તો આપણે બી યાદ કરી દઈએ અને દેશમાં એવનના રવાનને સારી શાંતિ મળે અને ભદ્રજી સાહેબે કહ્યું છે આપણી કોમનું અને આપણા દેશનું એવન રક્ષણ કરતા રહે એવી દુઆ ગુજારી.
I request Dinyar, please come.
Say about him, but this is probably not the best time to do so. What I'll just mention at least is everything that Navrojis did during his career was animated by one concern, which was poverty in India. And it was to his credit that he was someone who was concerned more about than just, say, the Parsi community, in the sense that a lot of Parsis obviously got very rich during the British era, but most Indians got very poor, desperately poor. And Navrojis recognized this trend of impoverishment. So what I'll just say is at least if you really want to honor Navrojis, let this be a start. But do something extra that helps both with alleviating poverty, the spread of education, not just within the Parsi community, but within Indian society at large. I mean, the traffic we hear around us is probably good proof that India is not as poor as it once was, but there's still a lot of work to be done. So I think that would be the best way to honor him. Do something extra, maybe today, something in the course of the next week, next month, which helps both with education and the eradication of poverty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Friends, before I proceed further, we have a few speakers. Please bear with us. It's a death centenary, so we have a good audience, and I would like all of you to stay till the end. We must remember one important thing, and that is that Dadabhai lived in poverty years. He didn't have a secretary, maybe in London, but not in India. After retirement, he even during his years in India, he would write his correspondence with his own hand. I suppose you will agree. And till the end, he lived a life of... people were willing to give him money, but he refused to take it. So now I'll request Mr. Asti Markar, Commodore Asti Markar, to say a few words. Thank you very much. He is always helpful to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very heartening to see such a large turnout to commemorate the death centenary of this illustrious personality. I won't take much of your time, but what is significant is that he was a self-made man. He lost his father at the age of 4, and his mother, Manikbai, brought him up, and he praised her to say that I am today because of what my mother has done for me. There are many, many things that he did. I wouldn't like to go on that. Some of them have already been told to you by the other speakers. All that is left for me now is to thank, in general, the Bombay Parsi Association for having conducted this function and the garlanding of many other statues. The supporters of the Bombay Parsi Association do a commendable job, and in particular I would like to thank Vispi Dastur for having spearheaded this formation. Thank you very much. Good luck. God bless.
Thank you very much, Asti. Friends, I'll just mention the programs. At 2 o'clock, the Indian National Congress is having a function at our YB Chavan Hall. Even if you cannot make it at 2 o'clock, come at 2:30, 2:45, but do go and show that Parsis are with all political parties, but especially the old Congress. And another thing, at 3:30, 3:45, we'll have a Bombay Parsi Association holding a Jashan at Banaji Atasperam. Because we said कि कई भी तो अपने पारसी सेरेमनीज के कई करवी જોઈએ એવને માન કોઈ બીજું કંઈ કરતું જ નથી. એટલે actually I was thinking that the central government, the state government and others will take active interest. But unfortunately nothing happened. So on May 7th I announced, after consulting my committee members, I announced our program. So at 3:30 at Banaji Atasperam, and the same venue at Banaji Atasperam Hall, we are having a competition that is from Ranume Masjid Sabha, which was started by Dadabhai in 1851, and of which I am the president, just present president, and the Parsi Panchayat together, because I felt the Parsi Panchayat should be involved. Although it looks very bad that the top organization, ECBE, and doesn't do anything. So we roped it, and Ranuma and Parsi Panchayat are sharing the expenses and having the function. So you're all welcome, huh? Now, I have our Adibhai, Mr. Ogalia, please come. Adibhai is the secretary of an 1834 institution, Bombay Panjapur, and a social worker also.
Nothing more to say. Everything is covered. આપણે પારસીઓ જે લોકો અહીંયા ભેગા થયા છે તે લોકોમાં અભિમાન થવું જોઈએ, ગૌરવ થવું જોઈએ કે ડૉક્ટર દાદાભાઈ નવરોજી, who was popularly known as હિંદના દાદા, તેની 100 વર્ષની શ્રદ્ધાંજલિ પારસી કોમ તરફથી નહીં પણ બીજી કોમ તરફથી પણ કરવામાં આવી છે. ઇવન રૂલિંગ પાર્ટી તરફથી પણ આપવામાં આવી છે, જેનો પુરાવા છે કે આજે કોંગ્રેસ પાર્ટી, નેશનલ કોંગ્રેસ પાર્ટી તરફથી પણ શ્રદ્ધાંજલિ માટે વાયબી ચવાણ ઓડિટોરિયમમાં મિટિંગ રાખવામાં આવી છે. ઇવન સાઉથ બોમ્બે એજ્યુકેશન ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ તરફથી પણ સ્કૂલ્સોમાં રિક્વેસ્ટ કરવામાં આવી છે કે એટલીસ્ટ 2 મિનિટ સાયલન્સ ડૉક્ટર દાદાભાઈ નવરોજી માટે આપવો. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ.
Thank you very much. Now I suppose I'll call the Shehnaz, Dr. Shehnaz Barji Hawari. Say a few words, and few means few, huh? આપણે 2-3 મિનિટની અંદર કમ્પ્લીટ કરવું છે.
Thank you, Rispi.
બોમ્બેભાઈ છે કે બોમ્બે?
A legend in his lifetime, Dadabhai Navrojis will be always remembered and revered by the Parsi community, by the British and by the nation, because he remains ageless and timeless in the annals of history, and that is why we are present here to pay homage on his 100th centenary. Friends, his dedicated services to the nation and his meritorious deeds are of course unaccountable, and he was the founder of the Indian National Congress, and so he always inspired Gandhiji in his freedom movement, and Gandhiji called him Hind na Dada. If today Mahatma Gandhi is known as the father of the nation, I think Dadabhai Navrojis should have been rightly called the grandfather of the nation had he been alive during the freedom struggle and during after independence. Friends, he carried on all his duties to perfection, as we all know, and with courage. Perfection is the ability to do everything correctly in a right way, but courage means striving to handle the worst in the worst circumstances, and that is why, and that is how Dadabhai knew how to handle all that, and that is the hallmark of a great man. Dadabhai was all for the empowerment of women, and he wanted that women should be educated and stand on their own feet, which of course we are doing now. And as a politician also, he had this acumen, that is the sharpness of mind and integrity, that is the highest moral character, which I don't think any politician of this day would stand up to his ideals, friends. And he was also very religious minded, so he founded the Ranume Masayasri Sabha more than 150 years back, which still carries on the tradition of giving religious lectures every month on Behram Road at the Karani Agyari in Khushribagh. And friends, I have also been privileged to give 3 lectures there up to now, and I've always been privileged a number of times to garland his statue on his birth anniversary, friends. As Rispi says, he was the first in many of the things. He was the first Parsi and Indian to be a professor in mathematics in India. He was the first Parsi and Indian to be a professor in Gujarati in England, and the first Parsi, Indian and Asian to be in the House of Commons and the British Parliament. And I think that's a wonderful thing for all Parsis, and we should be very proud of him. And yes, it is an inspiration from him, so that we should also come up in life. And I'm sure he is blessing us with his stately presence and gracious presence up there. He is blessing all of us who are here. He is blessing the community and the nation. And for this function to come alive today, we have to thank Mr. Rispi Dastur, President of the Ranume Masayasri Sabha, and his committee members, and also the Bombay Parsi Association, who is organizing a jashan today in the evening, and the Congress Party, which is also having a function at the YB Chavan Auditorium at 2 o'clock today, and the Bombay Parsi Panchayat, who is also organizing this function jointly. Thank you very much.
Any message to be learned from Dadabhai, as Vinya said, it is to work towards social reform, to work toward liberalism, to bring about changes that are there so that we have equality even in our community for women and everybody else. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Jangir.
Karachi. This particular day we used to celebrate like anything. Early morning, just as usual, every year my grandpapa, the Dala, attend and conduct the ceremony. Then elocution competition in the afternoon. And then every year all the Parsi schools will close to them for the vacation because there the summer is very severe. I remembered my childhood. May God bless his soul in eternal peace and may his blessings be with all of us. By the way, dear, my brothers and sisters, very good articles have been given in Parsi, Bombay Times, last week, Saturday. And kindly, there also my grandpapa article is coming on homaging to our Muslim. Thank you. God bless you all.
હવે આપણે કંઈ આપણે છૈયાને જડતોથી કે નેશનલ ઇન્કમના કંઈ બરાબર નહીં લાગશે એટલે આપણે વિલ પાર્ટ પીસફુલી આફ્ટર ઓબ્ઝર્વિંગ અ મિનિટ સાયલન્સ. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you and yours. અને તો બપોરે આવજો. ફોટો કેમ પર આવશો? થેન્ક યુ ઓલમાઇટી. થેન્ક યુ.
एक मिनट. Okay, here you go, Bata. 1 minute. Okay. Here you go. Thank you.